How's it going?
What's going on? Hey.
What's up? Crew, huh?
From last year.
You remember me?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Did we talk?
Yeah.
We did?
We did.
I'm actually live streaming now and recording, if that's okay. You might have to fill me in. What did we talk about? Number one, how long ago was it?
It was probably almost a year.
It was about a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your first name?
Robert.
Robert? I'm Anthony.
Anthony? Nice
Yes,
to
sir.
meet you, man.
So we talked about a year ago?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember much about the talk?
I know it was probably something about God.
Probably.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'm interviewing people to see, what they believe and why.
Mm-hmm.
Did we talk on this campus?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like right there.
Okay.
Same place.
What was your name again?
Robert.
Robert. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What was your memory of the experience? Is it positive, negative?
It was encouraging. See a guy
Yeah?
like going around campus, just asking students why they believe, kind of like leaving pebbles in people's shoes.
Yeah. I love that analogy, actually. I've heard that once before. What was the pebble that... Did I place a pebble in your shoe that day?
Maybe. I don't know. Because I've already been a Christian for 3 years.
Uh-huh.
So.
I noticed you have a crew shirt on.
Uh-huh.
So you believe it?
Yes, sir.
Did I ask you why?
I think you did, and then I shared my testimony with you.
Could you maybe... Do you want to talk a little bit? Are you...
Maybe. I'm meeting some guys at 1.
What time is it now?
Let me text the guy
Yeah.
that I was meeting, and then...
If you don't have time, I've got a card where we can chat.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna just check the live stream here just to make sure that it's not chopping up. How you guys doing down there? Can you see okay?
Oh, there's people there.
Yeah, there's 38 people watching.
38 people?
The signal's good, and I'm in the shade too. And they say they like your hat.
Ah, thank you. Should have worn my Love God Hate Sin hat.
Love God, hate sin.
Uh-huh.
So you're all in with this belief.
Oh yeah. No, I don't even know. Are you? May I ask if you're a believer in Jesus Christ?
No.
Oh no, really?
No. I'm not really a believer in any God.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm open to revising my stance on it. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's surprising. So you're just asking people why they believe stuff then?
I like to help people unpack the reasons why they hold the belief and better understand it, and maybe even help you better understand why you believe it to begin with. To the point where you would be comfortable even walking around with a hat that says "Love God, Hate Sin."
Yeah.
Right? What time did you say it was?
1.
Oh, it is 1 right now.
It's not 1 right now. It's 12:53.
Do you know the crew groups on other campuses?
Sort of.
Sort of. Okay.
Do I know if there is crew groups?
I know that there is.
Okay.
But I just was wondering if you know anybody.
A little bit. So yeah,
You want to just chat a little bit before you go, or do you have time?
I got like 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Okay. What's the main reason, Robert, why you believe in Jesus?
The main reason?
Yeah.
Is, well, probably personal experience.
Can you think of the most vivid personal experience that you had that you said, without a doubt, that's got to be Jesus?
Well, it wasn't really like a single personal experience, but it was over like, I guess, a few months.
Okay.
And then now it's been 3 years. But yeah, this personal experience of experiencing him in my life. Because remember, like when we talked last time, I shared my testimony. My testimony is that from 11 years old to 16, I was, I guess, it started at 11 when I started looking at pornography and having sexual sin in my life. And then it just continued on getting worse until my age 16. And so it became an addiction for me. And I experienced like guilt and feelings of, I guess just guilt, a lot of guilt, wanting to get out of it because, it's a gross thing. It just doesn't feel right because it's not something you want to share with your family. It's not something you want to share with people.
Okay.
So I was like over 5 years struggling with pornography and masturbation, and then when I was 16 years old, I had looked for ways to be free from it because I had the desire not to do it anymore, but that desire never changed. Like I guess it never came up to be anything else.
Okay.
And so, 16 years old, I came to this website called Setting Captives Free, and it says on the website, John 8:32 from the Bible, that says, "You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." Jesus offered me freedom from my sin.
I see. So when you encountered this website, you encountered the verse, you decided to believe it.
Well, John 8:32, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Yeah. So that's what Jesus taught. It's like that the truth will set you free.
Okay.
And then they were saying, like, you can find freedom from porn, you can find freedom from alcohol, from drugs, from things that people are enslaved to, from depression, from cutting themselves, anything. Like, there's freedom from sin.
I've spoken with Hindus that have told me some very similar stories, that I had an addiction, whether it was pornography or drugs or whatever, and I opened up the Bhagavad Gita and I saw this verse that said that, you can overcome all your desires and become a good person, and it changed my life to the point where they're absolutely convinced that the Vishnu God, the God Vishnu, works in their life. Your story reminds me very much of what they would tell me. How can you be certain that it's really Jesus that helped you through that difficult time and it's not some other God or just yourself?
How can I be sure that it's Jesus?
Yeah.
Well, really, I had gone to I tried a lot of different methods, and as far as like knowing that it's this, I know that it wasn't. It was like daily reading the Bible.
Let me ask you this though: did you try the Bhagavad Gita and look for those verses that may have helped that Hindu fellow?
No.
Do you think if you had stumbled across them, that you might have be just as happy and not doing those things?
I don't believe that.
You don't?
I don't believe that, because apart from...
Do you think that gentleman's lying when he told me that?
Well, I don't believe that he's lying. I believe that he is free from pornography, free from alcohol, and a lot of things that he struggled with. But the main difference between him and me is, or somebody that believes in Jesus and somebody that believes in another God, is that we're not just free from being a bad person, but we're actually right in the only true God's eyes. We're made perfect.
I'm really more interested right now, because we just have like 3 more minutes probably.
Okay.
Why you've decided to go with Jesus, when it sounds like you might recognize that other people can get through difficult times when they reach out to completely different gods, to the point where they may be walking around with Hindu hats and Hindu shirts, and Vishnu's the one true God, and it helped me through my pornography. How could you be so certain that it's really Jesus that did this, when this guy would be so certain that it was his God? How can we figure out that you're more correct than him?
That's a good question. how can I figure out that it's Jesus? Can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir, sure. This gentleman that I've literally talked to on this campus is a Hindu, and he told me that he had addiction to pornography. He was addicted to drugs and alcohol and pornography, and he read verses in the Bhagavad Gita, this old book that Hindus follow, and that says Vishnu is a very powerful god. He believes in Vishnu. He sees Vishnu working in his life. He's a better person today, and smiling and happy and sharing the word of Vishnu with anyone that will listen to him, because he no longer has that addiction. What he tells me is nearly identical to what I'm hearing from you. As an outsider, somebody that doesn't believe in any gods really right now, but I'm open to it, what might you say to differentiate your belief as being more valid than his?
It is a good question. Because personal experience is a good reason to believe in something, yet at the same time, it's always just seemed logical to me. Well, even before I believed in Jesus, it was logical to me to believe in a God. So why Jesus instead of another God?
Do you think personal experience is the best way to determine if something is true, Robert?
Probably not, because there's a lot of personal experiences that might not determine truth. Experience doesn't equal truth, yet at the same time, in the Bible, the 12 apostles, I know, have you heard of like 12 apostles, 12 disciples that were around Jesus for his lifetime? So these 12 guys, 11 of them, well, there was actually 12 of them, even after Judas left. 12 guys, they saw Jesus' death, they were there, they saw him hanging on the cross, and then they also saw him in the grave, and then they saw him when he was alive. And
these gentlemen had personal experience. I don't take it that you had that level of first-hand experience.
Yeah, actually seeing him. That's the difference between an apostle and just a disciple like me.
Okay, you would classify yourself as a disciple. Is there a better way? Let me ask you, what would be a better way than personal experience to figure out if something was true? And it doesn't even have to be about God. Like,
history, maybe.
Huh?
History.
History would be a good indicator?
I think that's a pretty good indicator.
You're heading to meet your friends like in a minute, right?
Yeah.
Where are you meeting them at?
Chili's.
Chili's. Is it fair to say that you believe that you're meeting your friends at Chili's like in a minute?
Yeah.
How would you discover that they weren't in that restaurant?
By actually going.
You could test it. Could you test this belief? Could you test your belief that Jesus is the one true God? Can that Hindu test his belief that Vishnu is his one true God?
He can, but it may only come by...
Can you test it?
I can. But at the same time, it's just going to be more personal experience. And if you want to look at history, you have Jesus appearing to more than 500 people and the 12 apostles. And every apostle except for one out of those 12 was martyred and killed for their faith.
Are you coming to that conclusion that this story actually happened from personal experience, or are you just going off of some... Are you believing it because you've read it?
Well, I believe it because it's history. Secular history, biblical history. It's like, it is history. It's actually happened. And so I do have faith in the fact that it's happened.
Do you use faith to conclude that this thing happened in the Bible? And And because you've used faith to conclude that it's happening, that it happened, that you think it's true?
You might have to repeat that.
Yeah. Are you using faith to get to this level of confidence that you have in your belief being true?
Am I using faith to get to the level of belief? I think that's a yes. And I'll tell you also what the Bible teaches and what I believe is that this faith is not something that I mustered of myself, but this faith comes from God.
Can I summarize what I think you just said?
Okay.
Your God, correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that your God gives you faith to use to conclude that he exists and that what you read in the Bible is true?
Mm-hmm. And to see what the Bible actually means.
I know that your buddies are waiting, but do you want to keep talking just a little bit longer?
Depends how long. Because, yeah, they did give me a call.
Did they? Okay. Can I give you a card and can we meet again?
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's just my email address. But if you see me out here again, just like you spotted me now, walk up to me again, because I want to unpack faith a little bit more. What I would really love to do, if we meet again, is unpack what you mean by faith, and I want to start seeing how reliable that method is for concluding that certain beliefs are true. I would love to do that again if we can.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, and I'm glad you stopped and said hello. All right. Take care, Robert.
See you, dude.
All right. Bye bye.
What was your name?
Anthony.
Anthony. Okay. See you.
Yeah.
Anthony.
All right. Bye bye.